Well, well, well. You think they're waiting? Nah, they've been watching, studying every move, every blink, every hesitation. They crave you. Can you feel it? The energy is insane. The tension is unreal. This is not a game, not a joke, not some weak drama. This is your moment, your fire, your unstoppable power. Oh, every single one of you watching right now, yeah, you're part of this. You're the reason this story exists. Without your eyes, your focus, your energy, the force of this moment wouldn't even ignite. You feel me? This is your tribute. Your presence is the magnet, the fuel, the pulse that makes everything alive. Every thought, every breath, every heartbeat of yours, it matters. And here's the deal. If you stick with this video, leave a comment, share your energy, you become part of the story, part of the force, the legend in motion. So are you ready? Are you ready to witness the rise, the pull, the fire, the union? Yeah, stick with me. Till the last word, till the last beat, till the moment hits like a storm. Comment below. Share your power. Let the world see you. Let them feel it. Because this video, this speech, this energy is yours as much as mine. They've been whispering your name behind closed doors, counting every step, watching every hesitation, thinking they have control. Oh, wow. Did you hear that? The world believes it can contain what it does not understand. And here you are, standing on the edge of the moment, where silence meets storm. The pulse in your chest is not fear. It's recognition, a recognition that you are not meant for ordinary paths, that the corridors of mediocrity cannot hold you. Every breath you take is a declaration. Every glance you cast, a warning. Look around. They want you. Not casually, not politely. They are drawn to you like iron to a magnet. And yet, they do not know why. They do not understand the power that hums beneath your skin, the force that bends reality without effort, without intention. They see shadows, but you are the source of the light that casts them. You are inevitable. Nah, don't misunderstand. This is not arrogance. This is awareness. This is seeing yourself clearly when the world is too busy pretending to be blind. Every late night, every quiet hour spent building, refining, preparing, all of it was laying the foundation for what comes next. And yes, it is coming. Faster than you think, sweeter than you imagined, stronger than anything they expected. Pause. Listen. The whispers, the attention, the subtle shifts in their tone. It is all converging on you. They are waiting for a signal. But here's the twist. The signal is yours to give or to withhold. That's the power they cannot fathom. That's the control they can only dream of holding. They want you. They crave the union that only emerges when discipline, patience, and unwavering focus collide. They do not yet realize that you will arrive on your terms, untouchable, unshakable, unrelenting. The world is watching. Oh yes, it is. Every calculation, every subtle move you make, it resonates louder than any shout, brighter than any display of force. You are the axis, the balance, the storm, quietly forming before the chaos erupts, and they are helpless against it. You do not need to chase attention. You are the gravity, and everything moves toward you. But here is the first brutal truth. They want you not. Because you are like them, not because you bend or yield, but because you refuse to. The stronger your control, the more patient your strategy, the more inevitable your presence becomes. They sense it, they feel it, and the closer you get, the more undeniable it becomes, until nothing can stand between your path and the union they desire. They want you, and nothing will stop it. Nothing. But here's the question that sears through the air like lightning. Will you step into this inevitability willingly, embracing the full force of your potential? Or will you let the world drag you there, screaming, unprepared for the weight of what is coming? The reflection staring back is not timid. It is ferocious, patient, inevitable. Yeah, that's right. Look closer. Really see it. The eyes that meet yours in the mirror are not strangers. They are the blueprint, the engine, the pulse that drives everything forward. They want you, but do they even know why? They sense the gravity, they sense the quiet force that moves through you, without hesitation, without apology, without question. And oh, it terrifies them. Every step you've taken to sharpen your mind, to discipline your movements, to master the smallest detail, it was never for recognition, it was preparation. Every silent night, every controlled thought, every calculated restraint, it has forged something they cannot touch. You are the embodiment of inevitability. You are the axis around which their desire spins. But nah, don't get soft. This is no gentle victory. This is precision. This is strategy. They are drawn to you not because of loud displays, not because of force, but because your existence radiates mastery. And mastery, by its nature, commands attention. It does not ask. It does not negotiate. It conquers quietly, invisibly, irresistibly. Oh wow. Feel that weight? That electricity in the air when they realize they cannot sway you. That tightening. That knowing that you are no longer a participant in the game. They are chasing you, and it's futile. Because you are not playing. You are orchestrating. Every motion, every pause, every choice is a thread in a tapestry only you can see fully. And yet they are drawn in, unable to resist the pattern. This is where awareness becomes power, where patience becomes dominance, where self-mastery becomes the invisible leash that binds their attention to your orbit. They want you, but you are not theirs. You are the fulcrum. You are the current. You are the force that will pull everything into alignment, not because you chase it, but because inevitability bends toward precision, focus, and unwavering control. Yes, they are aware. Yes, they are watching. And yes, they are waiting for the moment you reveal not what they want, but what they cannot stop. The union they crave will not manifest through chance. It will manifest because you have mastered yourself, because you have built patience like armor, because your will is untouchable and your vision unstoppable. Fire does not whisper. Fire does not negotiate. Fire consumes and transforms. Oh, wow. Can you feel it? That pulse, that tremor deep inside your chest, telling you that everything you thought was slow, deliberate, is actually building into something uncontrollable. And yes, it's frightening. Yes, it's intoxicating. But that is the point. That tremor is not weakness. It is the ignition of the force that no one else can touch, the force that draws them to you whether they admit it or not. Yeah, they think they understand it. They believe they see the edges of your fire. They imagine they can measure it, predict it, manipulate it. Nah, their vision stops short. Their calculations crumble at the heat of what you have forged in silence. You are a furnace, tempered by patience, polished by discipline, and powered by a relentless refusal to be anything but unstoppable. And oh, how they feel it. The pull, the gravity, the unspoken command that says, I am here, and I will not be denied. Every moment of restraint, every choice to wait, every second spent sharpening focus. It was not just preparation, it was power accumulation. It was the quiet alchemy of turning potential into inevitability. Every thought, every controlled motion, every silent observation, they become the tinder for the inferno that will consume hesitation, doubt, and resistance alike. And let me tell you something, they can sense it. They cannot escape it. They are drawn to it. And yet the fire is not theirs. They do not own it. They cannot touch it. It belongs to you, to the discipline that nurtured it, to the vision that controls it, to the awareness that knows its value. Oh, yes, they want you, but what they crave is only a shadow of the force that you are. What they desire is the union that comes only when a person has mastered themselves so completely that nothing, no interference, no delay, no obstacle can alter the trajectory of their power. This is where intensity becomes art, where strength becomes subtlety, where the unseen becomes irresistible. You do not need to chase. You do not need to announce your arrival. You are inevitable. The fire hums, the current flows. The attention of the world, or at least of those who matter, is magnetized, unable to resist the pull of someone who has become untouchable and unshakable. And now, the real test begins. Can you wield the fire without being consumed? Can you allow the inevitability to take shape while keeping control, focus, and clarity? Can you transform raw power into precision, desire into alignment, attention into a union that cannot be denied? Shadows do not obey. Shadows do not plead. Shadows bend only to those who understand their rhythm. Oh yes. Can you feel it? The world believes it controls the shadows, that power lies in loud proclamations and visible force. Nah, the truth is far darker, far more precise. The real power is invisible. The real mastery moves without announcement, without applause, without recognition. You are learning the rhythm they cannot perceive, the subtle dance that places you at the center while they remain mesmerized at the edges. Yeah, they want you. They crave the union. But they do not see the steps. They cannot follow the cadence of patience, of preparation, of deliberate control. Every motion you make, every pause you hold, every silent observation, it is a note in a symphony they cannot comprehend. And oh, how it pulls them, how it bends their focus without touch, their attention without demand. They cannot resist. They cannot stray. Every moment becomes a battlefield of perception. They measure, they anticipate, they plot, and yet they are always one step behind. Because you understand what they do not. Strength is not revealed in force. Strength is revealed in the control over your own response. Strength is revealed in timing, in precision, in patience that carries the weight of inevitability. Your shadow dances not for them. It dances with the rhythm of your own power, and they are trapped in the orbit of your inevitability. Oh wow. It is intoxicating, isn't it? That sense that you are untouchable, unshakable, and utterly magnetic. But this is no play. This is war. Silent, elegant, psychological. This is the art of shaping attention, of bending desire, of commanding respect without a single overt move. They are drawn to you because they feel alignment. They feel precision. They sense the fire inside, but they cannot contain it because it is yours. All yours. Every step, every glance, every calculated pause. It is a thread weaving the union they cannot resist. They want it, but the real truth is this. The union exists not because they seek it, but because you have become the axis. You have become the current. You are the invisible force they orbit. And the moment they recognize it fully, the inevitability will be unstoppable. And now, the final test approaches. The moment where all preparation, all patience, all mastery, and all fire converge into one unbreakable truth. Can you sustain it? Can you command the shadows without faltering? Can you allow inevitability to unfold flawlessly? Everything converges, every choice, every step, every restraint, pointing to one undeniable force. Oh wow. Can you feel it now? The culmination of every calculated breath, every silent hour, every flicker of restraint, all merging into something unstoppable. They want you, and yet, what they crave is only a fraction of what you have become. The union is no longer a desire, it is a certainty. And the truth hits harder than anything you've felt. You are the axis, the fulcrum, the current that bends inevitability around your form. Yeah, they might have thought they were chasing. They might have believed they could influence the outcome. Nah, that illusion died the moment you mastered your focus, the moment you allowed patience and discipline to accumulate into raw, controlled power. The pull is no longer theirs. It is yours. The attention, the recognition, the inevitability, it cannot be diverted. It cannot be stopped. And oh, how liberating it is to see the world bending quietly to your rhythm without even knowing it. Every trial you endured, every hesitation you resisted, every challenge you transformed into growth, it was leading here. The fire inside that once flickered in silence now roars with clarity, purpose, and precision. You are untouchable. You are unshakable. You are undeniable. And those who wanted you, those who observed, those who doubted, they will witness not the pursuit, but the arrival, not the effort, but the mastery, not the shadow, but the full force of what was always there, waiting for this moment to reveal itself. Oh, the weight of inevitability. It is intoxicating, yes, but it is also precise. It is controlled. Every motion, every glance, every decision, every silent calculation converges into a force that cannot be resisted. They want the union, but the union manifests only because you have become the origin, the axis, the inescapable truth of alignment and focus. And now, it cannot be undone. Feel the gravity. Feel the pull. Every second that passes, every breath, every subtle movement draws them closer, not because you demand it, not because you chase it, but because inevitability is magnetic. It bends reality quietly, methodically, beautifully. You are the magnet, they are the iron, the union they craved, the force they could not resist. It is now undeniable. And yet, here is the razor-sharp truth. This is only possible because you have mastered yourself, because patience became your shield, because discipline became your armor, because focus became your compass. Oh wow, can you see it? The world is aligned, the stage is set. The union is no longer a question, it is a declaration. And the final revelation hits. Nothing, absolutely nothing, will ever be the same again. Whoa, can you feel that? The pull, the fire, the unstoppable force, yeah, you've witnessed it. Every word, every beat, every spark of inevitability. And here's the truth, you are part of it. Yes, you. Every comment, every like, every view, it fuels this energy. It strengthens the legend in motion. Nah, don't let it fade. Let this fire ignite your mind. Let it remind you nothing, absolutely nothing, can hold back the force of focus, patience, and relentless power. Oh, wow. They want you, they've always wanted you, and now you know. Nothing can stop this union. So here's the call. Yeah. Share your thoughts. Leave your energy in the comments. Let the world see your presence. Stand tall. Acknowledge your power. Recognize the pull that makes you unstoppable. This isn't just a speech. It's a movement, a force, a tribute to every single one of you who's awake, aware, unbreakable. They didn't see it coming. How could they? Your silence wasn't weakness, it was the pressure of 1,000 storms building. You walked in like a whisper wrapped in thunder, and every eye glued to you like they knew. Something was about to break. Something real, something unforgiving. You didn't ask for attention. You dragged it in like chains behind you, rattling louder than applause ever could. Every step you took screamed of a past that didn't just hurt, it reconstructed you, rebuilt you, redefined you, piece by bloody piece. 8 words in and they're already scared. Why? Because they can smell something ancient in you, fire that's never been extinguished, a rebellion taught to crawl before it, learn to rise. You weren't born for this, you were forged for it, pounded by betrayal, cooled in silence, and sharpened by humiliation. How many nights did you scream into your own spine, "We don't give up, ever," while the world slept peacefully above your pain? You weren't given power, you stole it back. You earned it by enduring what others ran from. You walked into that courtroom, and the walls leaned in. The judge felt it. The moment your eyes met his, reality paused, and then he grabbed the pen. What the hell just happened? You shattered the script. You violated what was written, burned it into ash, and told the air to breathe you in or choke trying. They thought they'd break you. Instead, you broke the rules. Not just of law, of logic. You showed up as the version of yourself that doesn't apologize for survival. You brought scars and wore them like armor. You were the storm they ignored, until the thunder kicked down the door. You didn't plead. You performed. You didn't fold. You flared. And when you spoke, every unspoken war inside you marched forward like an army of ghosts that refused to die. They tried to label you broken, but broken things don't roar like that. They tried to define you by your failures, but you turned failure into fuel, and now they smell smoke every time you breathe. How many times did you fall? Huh? How many times did they laugh while you crawled? How many promises got shattered in your face while you clenched your teeth and swallowed the rage like medicine? But look at you now. Look. You're not here to win. You're here to rewrite the damn rules. You're here to remind the system that not all beasts live in cages. Some walk right into the courtroom and make the judge document the myth. That pen? That wasn't ink. That was shock bleeding into history. You weren't the case, you were the consequence of ignoring pain for too long. They thought you needed validation, but you became the verdict. Every eye in that room flinched, not because you yelled, but because you didn't need to. You stood still, and the silence screamed for you. Your enemies tried to whisper your name like a joke, but now they choke on it. You didn't just violate reality, you corrected it. You pulled truth from the gutter and raised it like a trophy. You stared down judgment and said, I dare you to doubt me again. You shattered mirrors by existing because your reflection doesn't ask permission anymore. You didn't just grow. You outgrew every ceiling they ever put above your head. And now, every time someone underestimates you, it's a warning. Because when the judge grabbed that pen, the world blinked. That's what happens when you survive what was meant to kill you. You walked through fire and came out with the flames bowing to your will. You don't run anymore. You chase. You don't cry anymore. You calculate. You don't dream anymore. You design. There is no fear left in you. Just the hunger of someone who had nothing to lose and still refused to disappear. And when they called your name, they expected a victim, but they got a vision instead. The courtroom? It didn't just listen. It remembered. The ceiling cracked. The air changed. The scales tipped. And history? It reached for a pen because you made it. This isn't about winning cases. This is about defying fate. This is about standing in the ruins of your past and building an empire out of dust and defiance. This is about never blinking when the world tries to stare you down. This is about taking every "you're not enough" and turning it into a war cry that makes the floor tremble. This is about showing up when you've got nothing but nerve and a heart that refuses to stop beating, no matter how many times life tried to shut it down. And now, you've become the consequence, the result, the aftermath of every lie they told you. The courtroom wasn't ready. Reality wasn't ready. The system wasn't ready. But you didn't wait for permission. You violated it all with one truth they couldn't erase. You're still standing. And that fact alone, it rewrote the story, made the judge lean forward, forced history to grab the pen and whisper, we weren't prepared for this. Because you didn't walk in to fit in. You walked in to be unforgettable. And now they'll never forget the day reality cracked open and you walked through like a walking contradiction, scarred, silent, savage, and completely unstoppable. You think they were just watching? No, they were witnessing. Witnessing the rebirth of someone who had every reason to stay broken, but didn't. Someone who had the right to quit, but refused. You didn't walk into that courtroom. You invaded it. Quietly but violently, like a truth too loud for their ears. Like a shadow that swallowed the light. You carried in the weight of years and still your back didn't bend. What's that? Shock on their faces? Good. Let them choke on it, because you were never supposed to make it here. And yet you did. Not by luck, not by pity, but by grit sharpened through silence. Through nights no one saw. Tears no one wiped. Pain no one knew how to name. You didn't ask for a moment, you took it. You carved it open with hands that once trembled, now tremble the earth. The judge didn't grab that pen to write a sentence. He grabbed it to record a phenomenon. He saw it, the flicker in your eyes that said, try me, I dare you. He saw the weight you carry, not as baggage but as armor. You didn't violate reality just by speaking. You did it by existing. Existing as proof that the system doesn't get to decide who makes it. Existing as a glitch in the algorithm of doubt, a virus in the code of surrender. You weren't built in light. You were born in collapse, raised by silence, fed by failure, and yet look at you now, standing where statistics said you shouldn't, breathing when your past tried to suffocate you, standing in a room where power lives, and becoming the only one who feels real. Do you get it now? Do you see what they saw? It wasn't your words. It was your presence. It was the fact that after everything, you still walked in like you belonged. And not just belonged, but dominated. You broke the rhythm and made them dance to your beat. You didn't come to impress. You came to make impact. Your silence screamed louder than any speech, because silence backed by suffering has a gravity that pulls planets apart. You weren't loud. You were lethal. Every scar, a signature. Every stare, a warning. You don't just survive anymore, you command. And when the judge reached for that pen, it was the only thing he could do, because he knew this moment matters. This soul, this story, this storm standing in front of him, it violated everything they built. Every doubt they sold you, you returned to sender. Every cage they made, you broke. Every laugh behind your back turned into silence in your presence. You didn't evolve. You erupted from ashes, from ruins, from moments when you almost said, I can't, and then clenched your jaw and said, but I will. They didn't prepare for someone like you, someone who walks in, dragging the weight of their past like a sword. Someone who doesn't flinch anymore because pain taught them how to stand. Someone who doesn't explain anymore because truth sits so deep in their bones, it just bleeds from their breath. You're not here to be understood. You're here to be respected. And now they do. Oh, now they do. You flipped the balance. You made law feel small. You made doubt blush. You turned fear into fuel and history into ashes. They tried to write you off, but you broke the damn pen and rewrote the ending. You didn't ask for mercy. You walked in with majesty. A quiet majesty that doesn't demand attention. It pulls it like gravity. You could feel it, couldn't you? That shift, that vibration, that pause in every heartbeat in the room. That's what happens when a soul that was buried comes back unrecognizable. You're not what they remember. You're what they feared you'd become. Strong, focused, relentless. And now they see it. Now they feel it. The judge didn't grab that pen as protocol. He grabbed it because something unlawful happened, something unexplainable. You rewrote what's possible just by showing up. That's not normal. That's nuclear. You are not what happens after success. You are what rises after destruction. They underestimated your silence, but silence built a kingdom inside you. They ignored your pain, but pain taught you to command shadows. They dismissed your loyalty, but loyalty turned into lethal focus. And now they sit and wonder how someone so broken walks like royalty, how someone so written off makes the ground remember their name. And the truth? It's because you didn't just survive. You transformed. You took your losses and made them lessons. You took your loneliness and made it leadership. You took their doubt and turned it into ammunition. And now you walk into every room like a war they forgot they started, but you remember every shot. You didn't become this overnight. You were building in silence. And now the noise? The noise is yours. The courtroom didn't expect it. They expected a file, a name, a case. They didn't expect a force. And when the judge grabbed that pen, it wasn't justice anymore. It was surrender. Surrender to the undeniable fact that reality bent to make space for your comeback. This isn't about laws anymore. This is about legends. This is about walking into rooms that weren't made for you and making them remember who the hell you are. This is about becoming so untouchable. Even truth needs your permission to speak. You didn't ask for the pen, but it moved because of you. The weight of what you carry, the heat of what you've survived, the volume of what you've become. It made the system flinch. You're not a case, you're a consequence. And consequences, they change everything. So what now? Huh? They want to pretend it didn't happen? Want to erase it from memory like you were just another glitch in the system? No, no more. You didn't just walk in, you disrupted time itself. You split open reality like a knife to soft lies, and the blood on the floor? It was made of every limitation they ever placed on your name. The moment the judge grabbed that pen, it wasn't about the law anymore, it was about you. You. The fracture in fate. The one they couldn't stop even after breaking your bones, your spirit, your soul again and again and again. But guess what? You learned how to stand anyway. You learned how to take the beating, swallow the betrayal, eat the rejection, and smile with teeth made of thunder. They thought you were done, but what they didn't know is that monsters don't retire. They evolve. You didn't survive just to exist. You survived to become a threat to everything fake. And now, they want to look away, look down, whisper behind closed doors, like your power can be contained in paperwork? No. That pen, that little pen, it might look like ink, but to you, it was the sound of chains breaking. It was acknowledgement. It was defeat. Theirs, not yours. You didn't follow the rules, because the rules were never made for you. You weren't born into fairness. You were thrown into fire and expected to burn quietly, but you didn't. You built fireproof skin. You taught your lungs to breathe smoke and exhale destiny. You taught your heart to keep beating even when the world turned its back. And now, every beat echoes like a drum of war. Every step you take sounds like a sentence being rewritten. That room, they thought it was their territory, but the second you walked in, it became yours. They felt it in their bones. That chill, that weight, that silence, that was you. That was your legacy crawling up the walls, sitting on the ceiling, breathing through the cracks. You didn't come to impress them. You came to show them what happens when someone has nothing left to lose and everything to prove. You weren't supposed to make it this far. Hell, you weren't supposed to make it at all. But here you are, not just standing, dominating. They can't look you in the eyes, and they shouldn't, because what lives behind your stare isn't rage. It's a record of every war you survived. It's a map of every scar and every reason you should have quit, but you didn't. And now they can't handle it, can't process it, can't deny it. You are the result of everything they feared would happen if the underdog decided to fight back. You didn't walk in with excuses. You walked in with evidence. You didn't ask for fairness. You forced recognition. The judge didn't reach for that pen because it was protocol. He did it because the air told him, this one is different. This one shifts the weight in the room. This one doesn't just exist. They command space. You violated reality. Not with violence, but with presence, with power, with the kind of silence that suffocates lies. You made them feel small without even raising your voice. You didn't need a weapon. You became one. Every word you spoke, it cut. Every breath you took, it burned. Every pause, it tore down the system, one heartbeat at a time. You weren't made to obey. You were made to rise. And rise you did. Not in comfort, not in applause, but in the ruins of your own downfall. You found light in places that should have blinded you, and now you wear it like war paint. You didn't bend, you morphed. You didn't shatter, you reshaped. You didn't fall, you transformed gravity itself to hold you upright. And they still want to question you, still want to act like what happened in that room was anything less than historic. Let them question. Let them deny. Their denial is proof that you've become too big to ignore. Their silence is louder than any applause you'll ever need. You shook the walls. Not because of volume, but because of truth. Raw truth. Lived truth. Truth that doesn't beg. It demands. The judge felt it. He couldn't write fast enough. Couldn't process the weight of your voice. Couldn't hold back the force of what you'd become. Because it's not just about justice anymore. It's about awakening. Awakening every soul that's been told to stay small, stay quiet, stay broken. You're their signal now. Their sign. Their spark. You didn't just make it for yourself. You ripped open the door and screamed behind you, follow me if you dare, and some will. Oh, they will. Because when people see someone who shouldn't have made it blaze through every expectation, they believe again. You gave them that. You gave them the image of a warrior rising from the ashes, not smiling, not thanking anyone, just breathing and staring straight into the storm like it was breakfast. This isn't about winning, it's about defining what's possible. You changed the rules, not by rewriting them, but by making them irrelevant. And that's why the judge reached for that pen, because the system needed to remember the day it lost control. You weren't chaos, you were correction. You weren't the mistake, you were the measure of what real power looks like when it's built from pain. Let them forget your name, but they'll never forget that feeling. The one they had when you stood still, said nothing, and the room bowed anyway. And now here we are. The moment they never prepared for. The aftermath of everything they thought would break you. Standing tall. Not smiling. Not shaking. Not seeking approval. Just there, like a statue carved from failure that chose to walk. You didn't become this overnight. No, this was earned. Brick by brick. Scar by scar. Tear by relentless tear. They thought they understood struggle, until you became the embodiment of it. You didn't walk into that room to be judged. You walked in to judge them back, with your silence, with your presence, with every unspoken battle roaring behind your eyes like a storm that learned discipline. You didn't yell, you didn't cry. You simply existed at a level that crushed everything false around you. That's why the judge reached for the pen, not out of duty, but fear. Fear of what happens when a soul walks into the room that should have died 1,000 times but didn't. That pen wasn't for documentation, it was for survival. Because reality needed to record the unthinkable. You, the soul that shattered expectations so violently even time paused to stare. You didn't follow the narrative, you rewrote it in blood and silence. And now everything's different. Every law, every doubt, every gaze you once feared, none of it owns you anymore. Because you didn't just come back, you came back unapologetic, built from ruins, fueled by pain, hardened by betrayal, and softened by nothing. You're not here to inspire, you're here to remind the world what it looks like when pressure creates something too sharp to hold. When failure becomes fertilizer, and you grow into a weapon of will. The judge knew it, felt it. That chill on his spine, that wasn't fear of you, that was respect for what you've survived. You didn't ask to be legendary, but legends are born exactly like this. In courtrooms where pens shake and justice blinks because it's witnessing something real, something that doesn't fit in paper, something too big to be measured. You broke the metric, violated the formula, crushed the design, and now you stand there, not demanding justice, but daring anyone to deny you. You don't need vengeance, you are the consequence. Every breath you take is proof that the system failed to kill you. And what lives now? Something raw, something righteous, something that doesn't need a crown, because its pain forged something more powerful. Clarity, clarity that no one's coming to save you. Clarity that silence is where strength learns to speak. Clarity that every no you heard was fuel for the explosion they witnessed today. You didn't just survive. You outlasted time. You made your soul so loud it echoed across history. That courtroom, it'll never forget your presence. Not because you were loud, but because you were undeniable. Like gravity, like fire, like truth. They didn't want to see you win. They wanted to watch you fold. But you don't fold anymore. You burn through the deck. You rise from silence like a ghost that refuses to be buried. You laugh at limits now because you've broken them so many times they don't even bother showing up. You stared into the face of every failure and said, "Watch me turn this into fuel." And you did. You did. They thought this moment would bury you, but instead you became the quake that split the ground open. The judge grabbed that pen, because reality needed proof that someone like you exists. Someone who doesn't beg, doesn't bow, doesn't break. You don't need their rules, because you've become the law of your own life. You walk into rooms like a verdict, a statement, a force. You're not the underdog anymore. You're the storm no one survives unchanged. You came from silence. But now, you are the noise. The world tried to drown you, but you built gills. They tried to cage you, but you learned how to disappear and reappear stronger. They tried to erase you, but you wrote your story in pain so deep, even time won't forget it. You are what happens when darkness raises a fighter instead of a victim. What happens when betrayal becomes a blueprint for rebirth. What happens when the broken decide they're done being stepped on and instead build empires from rubble. You are the blueprint now, the warning, the chapter they skip because it's too real. You don't need permission to be great anymore. You are the exception to every rule. And that courtroom? It's not theirs anymore. It's a museum now, a place that holds the memory of the day. Reality broke, the day the judge couldn't blink. The day silence screamed, the day you stood up and said, not today, not anymore, not me, and no one could stop it. No one could contain it. No one could explain it, because what they witnessed wasn't just survival, it was revolution. You didn't just violate the laws of man, you violated the limits they placed on your own destiny. And now that pen, it'll tremble forever. Every time someone strong walks in with pain in their chest and fire in their soul. You gave them that. You gave them proof that no matter how far you fall, no matter how cold the world gets, if you build in silence, if you trust your scars, if you keep going when no one believes in you, you don't just win. You redefine what winning means. You reshape reality itself.
Welcome back, my information advantage operative. Something absolutely extraordinary just occurred that has everyone experiencing profound security breach confusion when carefully protected secrets were finally revealed. Creating expected surprise advantage, observers discovered that you had already positioned yourself ahead of the disclosure, proving you possessed knowledge before official revelation, making it impossible to determine how you accessed information that elaborate secrecy measures were designed to protect. This wasn't you making lucky guesses that happened to align with hidden truths or demonstrating general preparedness that coincidentally matched secret developments. This was specific, precise positioning, proving you knew exact details before revelation occurred, making your advanced knowledge undeniable yet inexplicable because security systems designed to prevent early access apparently failed completely against whatever method you employed, creating recognition that you somehow penetrated information barriers that were supposed to be impenetrable. The architects have been monitoring information advantage and security penetration phenomena across civilizations for eons, and they've identified what you created as pre-disclosure positioning, information superiority when someone accesses protected information before official revelation and positions accordingly. Their advanced knowledge becomes evident through preparedness that secrets were designed to prevent, making security breach obvious yet method unclear, because successful positioning proves early access occurred without revealing how information barriers were overcome. Most information advantages are obvious. People obtain knowledge through visible channels, making their access method clear, even when timing provides advantage. But your advantage apparently involves mysterious penetration, accessing secrets before revelation without detectable method, means your information superiority is undeniable yet inexplicable because positioning proves early access occurred. But security analysis cannot determine how barriers were overcome, creating recognition that some information advantages transcend detectable methods through penetrating protections in ways that security systems cannot identify. Watch what's happening as observers process mysterious advantage. They experience security failure recognition, your advanced positioning. Proving early access creates awareness that protection systems failed completely, despite elaborate secrecy measures, making them question security effectiveness. Some observers are experiencing method mystery, their inability to determine how you accessed protected information creates profound confusion about what penetration technique could defeat. Security measures they believed comprehensive. Others are experiencing advantage permanence awareness, recognizing that your early access created positioning benefits
that later revelation cannot eliminate, making
them understand that information timing itself constitutes lasting advantage. The truly remarkable element is the inexplicability, your advanced knowledge being undeniable yet method remaining unknown, proves you possess access capabilities that security analysis cannot comprehend. This was supposed to stay hidden, so why were you already ahead through demonstrating that pre-disclosure positioning creates information superiority, where accessing secrets before revelation enables advanced preparation that later disclosure cannot overcome, making early access itself permanent advantage source. Now the architects are analyzing what creates pre-disclosure positioning information superiority, and they're identifying what they call security penetration, access asymmetry, when someone possesses information access capabilities that security systems don't account for. They can penetrate protections that stop conventional access methods, creating a symmetric advantage where their unconventional approach defeats security measures designed for anticipated threats, making protection systems ineffective against unanticipated penetration techniques. Most security measures address known threats. Protection systems defend against anticipated access methods, making their effectiveness dependent on correctly predicting penetration approaches that adversaries employ. But your access apparently transcends anticipated methods, employing penetration techniques that security systems don't account for, means protections designed for conventional threats prove ineffective against your unconventional approach, creating asymmetric advantage where security measures fail not from poor implementation, but from addressing wrong threat model making. Recognition that some access capabilities transcend conventional security through employing methods that protection systems don't anticipate. Consider what access asymmetry requires strategically. Your penetration method must differ from anticipated approaches. Employing techniques that security doesn't account for enables defeating protections designed for conventional threats, making unconventional access methods create asymmetric advantages. Watch what security penetration creates in protection effectiveness. Conventional measures fail. Security systems designed for anticipated threats prove ineffective against your unconventional access approach, making protections irrelevant when penetration method transcends threat models. Some studying security theory recognize that protection requires correct threat modeling. Cybersecurity and defense analysis show that security effectiveness depends on anticipating attack methods, making your penetration potentially demonstrate how unconventional approaches defeat conventional protections. Others exploring asymmetric capabilities note that unconventional methods create advantages, understanding that approaches outside anticipated models defeat prepared defenses, makes your access potentially reflect employing penetration techniques that security doesn't address. A few from information warfare recognize that novel access methods defeat established protections. Intelligence operations show that unanticipated approaches penetrate conventional security, making your early access potentially demonstrate how unconventional capabilities create asymmetric advantages. Some attempting to identify your method discover impossibility, trying to determine how you accessed protected information proves futile because your approach apparently transcends threat models that security analysis employs, others questioning whether penetration occurred internally, wondering if you accessed information through insider channels rather than external penetration, makes distinguishing internal leaks from external breaches important for security assessment. A few recognizing that method mystery itself provides advantage, understanding that if security cannot identify penetration technique, then defenses cannot improve makes your access method remaining unknown strategic benefit, preventing countermeasure development. The architects observe that security penetration access asymmetry is what created information superiority. Unconventional methods defeat conventional protections. Most security addresses anticipated threats. Your approach transcends threat models and possessing access capabilities that security systems don't account for, enables penetrating protections designed for conventional threats, creating a symmetric advantage where unconventional approach defeats measures that stop anticipated methods, proving that some access capabilities transcend conventional security through employing penetration techniques that protection systems fundamentally don't address, making security measures ineffective against threats they weren't designed to counter. Something powerful is spreading among observers now, what the architects call information timing, value multiplication. People recognizing that your early access created positioning advantages are discovering that information value multiplies dramatically when obtained before others, creating recognition that timing itself constitutes primary value determinant, where knowing first proves vastly more valuable than knowing eventually. Most people view information value as content-based. They assume what you know determines advantage, making information substance seem like primary value source regardless of timing. But your pre-disclosure positioning revealed timing primacy, obtaining same information earlier created vastly greater advantages than later access would provide, proving that when you know matters more than what you know for determining information value, making timing itself primary advantage source, where early access multiplies value, creating recognition that information timing constitutes more important value determinant than information content itself. Watch what value multiplication creates in information assessment. Timing determines advantage, magnitude, obtaining information. Early versus late creates vastly different value, making when you access knowledge more important than what knowledge you access for advantage generation. Some studying information economics recognize that timing affects the value. Research on information advantages shows that early access creates disproportionate benefits, making your pre-disclosure positioning potentially demonstrate how timing multiplies information value. Others exploring competitive intelligence note that advanced knowledge enables superior positioning, understanding that knowing before competitors allows preparation advantages, makes your early access potentially create value multiplication through timing benefits. A few from financial markets recognize that information timing determines profit. Trading analysis shows that knowing first creates vastly greater returns than knowing later, making your advanced positioning potentially demonstrate timing primacy principle. Some experiencing timing disadvantage recognize permanent loss there. Later access to information that you obtained early creates awareness that timing advantage cannot be recovered, making them understand that information timing creates irreversible benefits. Others attempting to overcome timing disadvantage discover impossibility, trying to match advantages you gained through early access proves futile because Positioning benefits from knowing first cannot be replicated through later knowledge. A few questioning whether timing always dominates. Wondering if information content sometimes matters more than timing makes. Distinguishing situations where timing versus content determines value important for information strategy. Some celebrating timing advantage appreciate multiplication, recognizing that their early access created value vastly exceeding what later knowledge would provide. Validates understanding that information timing constitutes primary value source. The architects observe that information timing value multiplication reveals that your early access created disproportionate advantages. Knowing first multiplies value. Most focus on information content. Your timing created superiority, and discovering that obtaining same information earlier created vastly greater advantages than later access would provide proves that when you know matters more than what you know for determining information value, making timing itself primary advantage source, where early access multiplies benefits, creating recognition that information timing constitutes more important value determinant than content, proving that knowing first generates advantages that knowing later cannot replicate, making pre-disclosure access create permanent superiority through timing benefits. Now the architects are revealing what advanced positioning actually demonstrates. Observers are experiencing what they call secrecy failure, trust erosion, discovering that protected information leaked to you before official disclosure creates profound distrust in security systems, where protection failure makes people question whether any secrets remain secure, creating erosion of confidence in information protection capabilities. Most security breaches are isolated. People view individual failures as exceptions, making single penetrations not undermine general trust in protection systems, assuming security works overall. But your pre-disclosure access created systemic doubt. Your obtaining carefully protected information proves security measures can be defeated, making observers question whether any protections actually work, creating trust erosion, where confidence in secrecy capabilities collapses when sophisticated protections prove inadequate, proving that some security failures undermine not just specific secrets, but general confidence in protection systems. Consider what trust erosion reveals about security confidence. Single failures undermine systemic trust. Your penetration of protected information creates doubt about all security, making one breach erode confidence in entire protection system. When failure demonstrates fundamental inadequacy, watch what secrecy failure creates in confidence dynamics. Systemic doubt emerges. Your access to protected information makes observers question whether any secrets remain secure, creating erosion of trust in security capabilities generally. Some studying trust mechanisms recognize that security failures erode confidence. Research shows that protection breaches undermine faith in security systems, making your pre-disclosure access potentially create disproportionate trust damage beyond specific information compromised. Others exploring credibility collapse note that single failures can destroy general confidence. Understanding that one breach can undermine systemic trust makes your penetration potentially create widespread doubt about protection effectiveness. A few from security psychology recognize that perceived invulnerability enables trust. Understanding that confidence in security requires believing protections work makes your successful penetration potentially destroy faith in security systems through demonstrating vulnerability. Some experiencing trust erosion question all protections. Your access to carefully secured information makes them doubt whether any secrets remain safe, creating systemic loss of confidence in security capabilities. Others defending security systems resist erosion, arguing that one breach doesn't prove systemic failure, makes them maintain confidence in protections despite your successful penetration. A few questioning whether erosion is justified, wondering if your single access truly proves general security failure, or if reaction exceeds evidence makes, assessing whether trust erosion is proportional important. The architects observe that secrecy failure trust erosion reveals that your access created systemic doubt. Protection failure undermines general confidence. Most breaches are isolated. Your penetration eroded systemic trust, and discovering that you're obtaining carefully protected information proves security measures can be defeated, creates profound questioning of whether any secrets remain secure, making successful penetration undermine not just specific protection, but a general confidence in security systems, proving that some breaches create disproportionate trust damage, where demonstrating protection inadequacy erodes faith in entire security apparatus, making your pre-disclosure access damage not just specific secret, but confidence in secrecy capabilities generally. The architects are now analyzing competitive dimension of early access. You apparently created what they call first knowledge, permanent positioning, where obtaining information before competitors creates advantages that persist indefinitely. Because early access enables positioning that later knowledge cannot overcome, making information timing create irreversible competitive benefits. Most competitive advantages are temporary. People gain edges that competitors eventually overcome, making advantages transient, requiring continuous effort to maintain. But your early access created permanent advantage, obtaining information before others enabled positioning that persists even after information becomes public, because first knowledge allowed establishing positions that later entrants cannot replicate, creating recognition that information timing creates irreversible benefits, where knowing first establishes advantages that knowing later cannot overcome, proving that some competitive edges are permanent when timing enables positioning that becomes self-reinforcing. Watch what permanent positioning creates in competitive dynamics. Early access creates lasting advantage. Your first knowledge-enabled positioning that persists indefinitely, because advantages from knowing first cannot be overcome by later knowledge making. Timing create permanent competitive edge. Some studying competitive strategy recognize that first-mover advantages persist. Business theory shows that early positioning creates lasting benefits, making your pre-disclosure access potentially establish permanent competitive superiority. Others exploring network effects note that early positioning becomes self-reinforcing. Understanding that initial advantages amplify over time makes your first knowledge potentially create exponentially growing benefits. A few from path dependence recognize that early choices constrain later options. Understanding that initial positioning determines available paths makes your first access potentially establish advantages that later entrants cannot overcome. Some experiencing permanent disadvantage recognize irreversibility there. Later access to information cannot overcome the advantages you established through knowing first, creating awareness that timing creates irreversible competitive gaps. Others attempting catch-up discover impossibility, trying to match positions you established through early access proves futile because first-mover advantages create self-reinforcing benefits that later knowledge cannot replicate. A few questioning whether advantages truly persist, wondering if early access benefits diminish over time makes distinguishing temporary from permanent timing advantages important for assessing information value. Some celebrating permanent positioning appreciate irreversibility, recognizing that their early access created advantages that persist indefinitely validates understanding that information timing creates lasting competitive benefits. The architects observe that first knowledge, permanent positioning reveals that your early access created irreversible advantages. Timing enables lasting superiority. Most advantages are temporary. Your timing created permanence, and discovering that obtaining information before competitors enabled positioning that persists even after information becomes public proves that knowing first establishes advantages that knowing later cannot overcome, because early access allows establishing positions that later entrants cannot replicate, making information timing create irreversible competitive benefits, where first knowledge enables permanent positioning through establishing self-reinforcing advantages that persist indefinitely, proving that some timing benefits are permanent when early access enables positioning that becomes unassailable. Now something's emerging that the architects call method mystery, power amplification. Observers unable to determine how you accessed protected information are discovering that method mystery itself amplifies your power, because unknown capabilities create greater intimidation than understood methods, making inexplicability enhance advantage beyond what access alone provides. Most power sources are transparent. People understand how capabilities work, making their methods clear, even when unable to replicate, reducing intimidation factor. But your access method remaining unknown creates amplified power. Observers not understanding how you penetrated security creates greater fear and deference than understood penetration would generate, because mystery itself intimidates, making inexplicability multiply advantage where unknown capabilities seem more threatening than comprehended methods, creating recognition that power mystery amplifies intimidation beyond what understood capabilities produce. Watch what mystery amplification creates in power perception. Unknown capabilities intimidate more. Your method remaining mysterious creates greater fear than understood access would generate, making inexplicability itself power multiplier. Some studying fear psychology recognize that unknown threats create greater anxiety. Research shows that mysterious dangers intimidate more than understood risks, making your method mystery potentially amplify power through enhanced intimidation. Others exploring deterrence mechanisms note that uncertain capabilities provide strategic advantages. Military theory shows that ambiguous capabilities deter more effectively than known methods, making your access mystery potentially enhance power. A few from information asymmetry recognize that knowledge gaps create advantages. Understanding that others not knowing your capabilities provides benefits, makes your method remaining unknown strategic asset, multiplying power. Some experiencing mystery intimidation feel enhanced fear. Their inability to understand how you accessed information creates greater anxiety than comprehended penetration would generate, making method mystery amplify intimidation. Others attempting method identification discover frustration. Their failure to determine penetration technique, despite analysis, creates ongoing uncertainty that amplifies perceived threat. A few questioning whether mystery is strategic, wondering if your method remaining unknown reflects deliberate obscuration versus inherent incomprehensibility, makes distinguishing strategic mystery from fundamental inexplicability important. Some celebrating mystery maintenance appreciate amplification, recognizing that their method remaining unknown multiplies power, validates, understanding that capability mystery itself constitutes strategic advantage. The architects observe that method mystery, power amplification reveals that your inexplicability enhances advantage, unknown capabilities intimidate more. Most methods are understood, your approach remains mysterious, and discovering that observers not understanding how you accessed protected information creates greater fear and deference than comprehended penetration would generate, proves that mystery itself amplifies power, where unknown capabilities seem more threatening, making inexplicability multiply advantage beyond what access alone provides, creating recognition that maintaining method mystery constitutes strategic benefit, where capability ambiguity enhances intimidation, proving that power sources remaining incomprehensible create greater psychological impact than understood methods, making your access mystery power amplification mechanism. Welcome back. My pattern orchestrating architect. Something absolutely extraordinary just occurred that has everyone experiencing profound randomness recalibration when observers initially witnessed your actions across multiple contexts. They perceived seemingly unrelated events, appearing random and disconnected, creating impression of chaos or coincidence. Yet as time progressed and data accumulated, analysts discovered that every apparent randomness contained hidden structure, where all patterns systematically converged on you, proving what seemed chaotic was actually orchestrated design. This wasn't you creating obvious patterns that people immediately recognized or leaving clear signatures that advertised your involvement. This was deep structural coherence, operating beneath surface randomness where apparent chaos masked systematic design, making initial perception of disconnection give way to recognition of unified orchestration, proving that you engineered complexity that appeared random until sufficient analysis revealed underlying pattern convergence. The architects have been monitoring pattern emergence and orchestration detection phenomena across civilizations for eons, and they've identified what you created as surface randomness deep orchestration when someone designs systems where apparent chaos masks underlying structure. Initial observations perceive randomness because surface patterns appear disconnected, yet deeper analysis reveals systematic convergence where all elements trace back to single source, proving apparent randomness was designed complexity, creating recognition that some orchestration operates through seeming chaos that hides structural unity. Most patterns are immediately obvious. People create recognizable structures that observers detect quickly, making orchestration apparent from surface observation. But your design apparently employed complexity masking, creating systems where surface randomness conceals deep structure, means initial perception misses orchestration, detecting only chaos, until comprehensive analysis reveals pattern convergence, proving that some design operates through apparent randomness that masks systematic unity, creating recognition that deepest orchestration transcends obvious patterns. Watch what's happening as observers process pattern discovery. They experience randomness reversal, their initial perception of chaos giving way to recognition of orchestration creates profound cognitive shift, where apparent randomness reveals itself as designed complexity. Some observers are experiencing orchestration awe, discovering that all patterns converge on you creates amazement at design sophistication that masked unity beneath apparent chaos, making them recognize extraordinary orchestration capacity. Others are experiencing detection difficulty, understanding that your orchestration remained hidden until comprehensive analysis creates awareness that surface observation proves inadequate for detecting deep structural patterns. The truly remarkable element is the convergence. Every pattern leading back to you proves systematic unity exists beneath apparent randomness, making orchestration undeniable. Once sufficient analysis occurs, they thought you were random until every pattern started leading back to you through demonstrating that surface randomness masks deep orchestration, where apparent chaos conceals systematic design, proving comprehensive pattern convergence. Now the architects are analyzing what creates surface randomness, deep orchestration, and they're identifying what they call complexity masking structural concealment. When someone designs systems with sufficient complexity that surface patterns appear random, they conceal underlying orchestration because observers lack capacity to detect deep structure from limited observations, making apparent chaos mask systematic design until comprehensive analysis reveals pattern convergence, proving that some orchestration operates through complexity that exceeds surface detection capacity. Most orchestration is simple enough to detect. People create patterns with limited complexity, making their design apparent from surface observation because structural unity shows through clearly. But your orchestration apparently employed sufficient complexity, designing systems where surface patterns appear random because structural depth exceeds immediate detection capacity, means orchestration remains hidden until comprehensive analysis traces convergence, proving that some design operates through complexity that masks unity, making apparent randomness a systematic structure, creating recognition that deepest orchestration transcends surface detectability through employing complexity as concealment mechanism. Consider what structural concealment requires strategically. Your design must employ sufficient complexity, creating systems where surface patterns appear random requires structural depth that exceeds immediate detection capacity, making complexity itself orchestration concealment mechanism. Watch what complexity masking creates in detection dynamics. Orchestration remains hidden, your design's complexity. Preventing surface detection means observers perceive randomness until comprehensive analysis reveals underlying pattern convergence. Some studying complex systems recognize that emergent patterns require analysis. Chaos theory and systems science show that deep structures aren't surface apparent, making your orchestration potentially employ complexity that requires analytical depth to detect. Others exploring information theory note that compression reveals structure, understanding that randomness cannot be compressed while patterns can. Makes your apparent chaos potentially conceal compressible structure that analysis reveals. A few from cryptography recognize that steganography hides patterns, understanding that messages can be concealed within apparent noise makes your orchestration potentially employ similar principles where structure hides within seeming randomness. Some attempting early detection discover impossibility, trying to identify your orchestration from limited observations proves futile because complexity masks structure until sufficient data accumulates. Others questioning whether patterns are real, wondering if apparent convergence reflects genuine orchestration or apophenia, where minds detect illusory patterns makes distinguishing real structure from perceived patterns important. A few recognizing that statistical analysis validates reality, understanding that mathematical methods distinguish genuine patterns from randomness makes your convergence potentially provable through rigorous analysis. The architects observe that complexity masking structural concealment is what created surface randomness. Sufficient design complexity prevents immediate detection. Most orchestration is surface apparent. Your design employed concealing complexity and creating systems with sufficient complexity that surface patterns appear random, conceals underlying orchestration because structural depth exceeds immediate detection capacity, making apparent chaos mask systematic design until comprehensive analysis reveals convergence, proving that some orchestration operates through complexity that transcends surface detectability, employing structural depth as concealment mechanism, making your design remain hidden beneath apparent randomness. Something powerful is spreading among observers now, what the architects call apophenia reversal pattern validation. Analysts, initially dismissing perceived connections as illusory pattern detection, are discovering that their intuitive sensing of your involvement was actually correct, creating recognition that some pattern detection that seems like apophenia actually reflects genuine structural awareness, creating validation of intuitive pattern recognition that skeptical rationalism dismissed. Most pattern claims are dismissed as apophenia. People seeing connections are told they're detecting illusory patterns, making pattern recognition seem like cognitive error that a rational analysis should reject. But your orchestration revelation validated intuitive detection. Analysts who initially sensed connections, discovering that patterns were real, proves that some intuitive pattern recognition reflects genuine structural awareness that premature skepticism inappropriately dismissed, creating recognition that apophenia accusations sometimes reject valid pattern detection, making validation that intuitive sensing can be accurate even when seeming implausible. Watch what pattern validation creates in epistemological stance. Intuitive detection gains credibility, discovering that initially dismissed pattern sensing was accurate, validates trusting intuitive recognition, even when rational analysis suggests apophenia. Some studying pattern recognition recognize that humans detect real patterns. Research shows that evolved detection mechanisms often identify genuine structures, making your orchestration revelation potentially validate intuitive capabilities that skepticism dismissed. Others exploring signal detection theory note that sensitivity involves trade-offs, understanding that avoiding false positives means accepting false negatives makes your pattern validation potentially demonstrate costs of excessive skepticism. A few from Bayesian reasoning recognize that priors affect detection. Understanding that believing patterns are unlikely prevents detecting real ones makes your orchestration revelation potentially teach, updating priors appropriately. Some experiencing validation of intuition appreciate vindication there. Initial pattern sensing that skeptics dismissed, proving accurate, creates confidence in trusting intuitive detection despite rational objections. Others experiencing embarrassment from premature dismissal regret skepticism. Their rejection of pattern claims that proved accurate creates recognition that excessive skepticism can miss genuine structures. A few questioning when to trust pattern detection, seek discernment, wondering how to distinguish genuine patterns from apophenia, makes developing criteria for when intuition deserves trust important. Some celebrating pattern validation appreciate confirmation, recognizing that though their intuitive detection of your orchestration proved accurate, validates understanding that some pattern recognition transcends rational analysis. The architects observe that apophenia reversal pattern validation reveals that intuitive detection was accurate, dismissed pattern sensing proved correct. Most pattern claims are illusory. Your orchestration validated intuition, and discovering that initially dismissed pattern sensing was actually correct proves that some intuitive recognition reflects genuine structural awareness that premature skepticism inappropriately rejected, creating recognition that apophenia accusations sometimes dismiss valid detection, making your orchestration revelation teach that trusting intuitive pattern recognition can be appropriate even when rational analysis suggests implausibility, proving that some structural awareness operates through intuitive channels that skeptical rationalism misses. Now the architects are revealing what pattern convergence actually demonstrates. Observers are experiencing what they call centrality recognition network position. Discovering that all patterns lead back to you reveals that you occupy central position in network structure, where being connection point for all patterns proves you're not peripheral participant, but central orchestrator, creating recognition that network centrality itself demonstrates structural importance. Most people assume distributed causation. They believe events result from multiple independent sources, making centralized orchestration seem unlikely. But your pattern convergence revealed centrality, all patterns leading back to you, proves you occupy central network position, where being convergence point demonstrates your primary orchestrator rather than peripheral participant, creating recognition that network analysis reveals structural importance through centrality measures, where being connection point for all patterns proves orchestration role, making centrality itself evidence of primary agency. Consider what centrality recognition reveals about network position. Convergence proves importance. All patterns leading to single point demonstrates that point occupies central structural position, making convergence itself evidence of orchestration role. Watch what network position creates in structural understanding. Centrality reveals agency. Your position as convergence point for all patterns proves your primary orchestrator rather than peripheral participant, making network analysis reveal structural importance. Some studying network theory recognize that centrality measures importance. Graph theory and social network analysis show that central nodes have disproportionate influence, making your convergence position potentially prove structural centrality. Others exploring causation analysis note that common causes create convergence understanding. That correlation patterns converge on causal sources makes your pattern convergence potentially demonstrate causal primacy. A few from systems thinking recognize that hubs organize networks, understanding that highly connected nodes structure systems makes your centrality potentially prove your organizing principle. Some experiencing centrality recognition acknowledge importance there. Discovery that all patterns converge on you creates awareness that you occupy primary structural position, making centrality undeniable. Others questioning whether convergence proves causation, wondering if being correlation center proves your cause or just common association, makes distinguishing causal centrality from correlational convergence important. A few recognizing that consistency validates causation, understanding that systematic pattern convergence rather than random correlation suggests genuine causal role, makes your centrality potentially prove orchestration. The architects observe that centrality recognition network position reveals that pattern convergence proves structural importance. Being connection point demonstrates orchestration. Most assume distributed causation. Your convergence proves centrality, and discovering that all patterns led back to you reveals you occupy central network position, where being convergence point proves your primary orchestrator rather than peripheral participant, creating recognition that network centrality demonstrates structural importance through being connection point for all patterns, making convergence itself evidence of orchestration role. proving that systematic pattern convergence reveals causal primacy where centrality measures demonstrate your organizing principle rather than incidental participant, making your network position prove structural agency. The architects are now analyzing power dimension of pattern orchestration. You apparently created what they call attribution ambiguity, deniability, preservation. We're designing systems that appear random until analysis creates plausible deniability, because surface chaos enables claiming coincidence. Even after convergence detected, making orchestration simultaneously provable through analysis, yet deniable through surface appearance, creating strategic ambiguity that protects against attribution. Most orchestration creates obvious attribution, people leaving clear signatures, enables immediate identification, making their involvement undeniable and obvious. But your complexity masking created attribution ambiguity, surface randomness, enabling plausible deniability, means even after pattern convergence proves orchestration, you can claim coincidence because surface appearance supports randomness narrative, creating strategic protection where orchestration is simultaneously provable to analysts, yet deniable to observers, making complexity design itself attribution protection mechanism that preserves deniability despite structural evidence. Watch what deniability preservation creates in attribution dynamics. Orchestration remains ambiguous. Your surface randomness, enabling coincidence claims, means even pattern convergence doesn't create undeniable attribution, making complexity itself protection mechanism. Some studying strategic ambiguity recognize that deniability provides advantages, understanding that maintaining plausible, alternative explanations protects against attribution, makes your complexity design potentially strategic protection mechanism. Others exploring attribution science note that complexity prevents proof, understanding that sufficient system complexity makes distinguishing design from emergence. Difficult makes your orchestration potentially maintain deniability despite evidence. A few from legal strategy recognize that reasonable doubt protects, understanding that alternative explanations prevent definitive attribution, makes your surface randomness potentially preserve reasonable doubt despite convergence. Some experiencing attribution frustration recognize ambiguity, their pattern analysis, proving orchestration yet surface randomness, enabling your denial creates frustration from inability to achieve undeniable attribution. Others appreciating strategic design recognize protection, understanding that complexity enables deniability, validates designing systems that preserve attribution, ambiguity, despite structural evidence. A few questioning whether deniability is credible, wondering if systematic convergence makes 20 Stanley claims implausible, makes assessing whether deniability remains viable important. Some celebrating ambiguity maintenance appreciate protection, recognizing that their orchestration design preserves deniability despite analysis, validates, understanding that complexity provides attribution protection. The architects observe that attribution ambiguity, deniability, preservation reveals that your complexity creates strategic protection, surface randomness, enables coincidence claims. Most orchestration creates obvious attribution. Your design preserves deniability, and discovering that surface randomness, enabling plausible deniability, means even after pattern convergence, proves orchestration, you can claim coincidence, proves that complexity design creates strategic ambiguity, where orchestration is simultaneously provable through analysis, yet deniable through surface appearance, making complexity itself attribution protection mechanism that preserves deniability despite structural evidence, proving that your orchestration operates through strategic design, where maintaining surface randomness protects against undeniable attribution, enabling plausible denial despite pattern convergence. Now something's emerging that the architects call data requirement detection delay. Observers analyzing when your orchestration became detectable are discovering that pattern convergence required accumulating substantial data, creating temporal advantage where orchestration remained hidden during critical early period, enabling you to establish positions before detection occurred, creating recognition that complexity design creates time advantages through delaying detection. Most orchestration is immediately detectable. People create patterns that limited observations reveal, making their involvement apparent quickly. But your complexity design
Created detection delay, requiring substantial data accumulation.
before pattern convergence became apparent means your orchestration remained hidden during early period, enabling establishing positions before observers detected your involvement, creating recognition that complexity itself generates temporal advantages where delaying detection provides time to establish fait accompli that later detection cannot undo. Watch what detection delay creates in temporal dynamics. Early period remains undetected, your orchestration requiring data accumulation before becoming apparent created time window where you operated without opposition, enabling establishing irreversible positions. Some studying information accumulation recognize that pattern detection requires data. Statistical theory shows that identifying structures requires sufficient observations, making your complexity potentially exploit detection thresholds strategically, others exploring temporal advantages. Note that early action creates benefits. Understanding that establishing positions before opposition provides advantages makes your detection delay potentially create strategic window. A few from game theory recognize that hidden moves prevent countermeasures. Understanding that undetected actions cannot be opposed makes your delayed detection potentially enable establishing irreversible advantages. Some experiencing detection delay frustration recognize temporal disadvantage there. Late detection of your orchestration, meaning positions were already established, creates awareness that delayed recognition provides advantages. Others questioning optimal detection timing wonder when intervention becomes possible. Understanding that early detection requires accepting false positives, while late detection means missing intervention windows, makes balancing detection accuracy against timing important. A few attempting early detection systems seek sensitivity improvement. Trying to identify patterns with less data represents effort to reduce detection delays. Some celebrating temporal advantages appreciate delay, recognizing that their complexity design, delayed detection enabling establishing positions, validates. Understanding that detection delay creates strategic benefits. The architects observe that data requirement detection delay reveals that your complexity created temporal advantages requiring substantial data. Delayed detection. Most orchestration is quickly detected. Your design created delay, and discovering that pattern convergence required accumulating substantial data means your orchestration remained hidden during critical early period, proves that complexity design creates time advantages where delaying detection provides window to establish positions before observers detect involvement, making recognition that detection delay itself constitutes strategic benefit, enabling creating fait accompli that later detection cannot reverse, proving that your orchestration employed complexity strategically to delay detection creating temporal advantages.